Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter, and today we are going to be ranking all of the palettes that I tried in May. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me, we're getting into it right now. And if you wanted to see how I got this look, this is actually using the Cosmic Brushes Serenity palette, so there should be a video coming up soon or already up. Either way, just make sure you're subscribed so that you can see when that video comes out. So, on to the countdown. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 palettes to talk about. So the first one I want to talk about is the Midas Cosmetics Lemonade palette. I picked this up because I really liked the quad that I got from ColourPop that had, Jesus Christmas. This is my problem. This is the 6th pan that has fallen out of this palette, and there's only 9 pans. I glued this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one in as soon as I got this damn palette. I opened it up. Literally everything fell out. So I can tell you that this palette is hella old. The stock that they're trying to get rid of right now is ancient. This is very dry, very powdery. It doesn't blend well. It's not cute. This was the shade I was the most excited for, and it's like chalky. Very, very chalky. So I'm very disappointed in this palette. I'm disappointed in Midas for thinking it's cool to sell this like old crappy product. And yeah, that's why it's at the bottom of my list. Next up is the Ticket to Dreamland palette from ColourPop. I picked this one and On a Whimsy up because I thought that like this packaging just really spoke to me. I love fireworks. I like this kind of like golden carousel kind of thing. It looks super cute. But when I go to use the palette, I feel kind of lost. I don't mind the mattes with the shimmer in them, but I don't know. Some of this is like more cool toned leaning, some of it's a little bit warmer, and it's hard for me to like mix everything together. So I feel like I love the packaging, but the actual shades inside stump me. So it ranked much lower because of that. And then On a Whimsy ranked just above it, and it looks like that. I really, again, I like the shades that they have in here. I like that this one goes a little bit more cool toned, but I think this, it's too soft, it's too mid-tone. Even this shade doesn't get terribly dark, so this is very like bridal or like, you know, office if you can't wear any crazy makeup like this. Would work for this, but it's just not my vibe. I love these kind of like this like taupey greenish silver color. I think it's really pretty, and then these two shades look really nice together, but again, love the packaging, just don't love the actual shadows inside. Next one up to talk about is the Disney Encanto palette. I picked this up a while ago when they had a sale, and I shopped through Instagram and was able to get like free shipping and some percentage off. I don't know, it's like a crazy deal. So I ended up picking this up, and I do really like it. I love this kind of like swampy, kind of greenish khaki color. I think these two shades are really pretty too. I feel like these two shades are a bit too similar, and I'm not sure that you really needed both of these. So I feel like there could have been a little bit more variation in this palette for such a small color story, that they could have made it a little bit more interesting. So for me, it floated down a little bit lower because of that, but the actual quality of the palette is pretty good. Alright, and in that same vein, I also picked up the ASPJ Tropical Vibes palette. If any of you guys have any of the newer palettes, like the reformulated Oceanic or reformulated, what is that, the like purpley black one, let me know because I have questions. This is really pretty though. I love the swampiness of this. I'm glad I waited for it to come back in stock and picked it up. I really, really like this metallic here with the rest of these colors here. I'm not sure I needed this one because it's just too like obvious of a shade for me, but all of these other shades I feel like are a nice take on a neutral palette with a slightly different twist of having it kind of these pukey green colors rather than just being like browns and oranges. So I was really happy to pick this one up, but there's some other stuff I like better. Next up is the Nomad Paradise palette, which looks like this. Oh, it's so pretty. And This one looks like this inside. I think this is like a really pretty color story. The only trouble for me is I don't have a lot of like deep toned mattes. Every time I use these shades, I feel like everything still looks very soft, very light. And so I wish there was a little bit more depth here. I know why there's not, because this is like paradise themed, right? It's like tropical islands, that's what you're thinking of. And so this all definitely fits with that vibe. I just wish it had something a little bit deeper to like pull in. What I've been doing though is using this in combination with other palettes, and I really like how they work together. So I think this one is great for mixing in with other palettes and kind of getting the depth from somewhere else, and then using this to build like your crease and your lid. Lovely formula as always with Nomad. Alright, next up to talk about, this is the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette, which you probably can't even see the words on here. But I got a chance to use this one for a little while during this past month, and I do think it's really pretty. This shade came like busted in mine, so I'm just nervous about holding it up. But I do think it's a really pretty palette. I really like the duochrome kind of quality of these, and the mattes blend really, really nicely. I do like that there's a good amount of depth in this one. You can have some kind of like grungy shades here. All in all, I think it's a really pretty palette. There's just other stuff that I liked more, but I did get a lot of use out of that this month. Alright, these next four I probably could have shuffled around a ton and justified moving them to every single spot, but the next one I'll put in here is number 4. This is the Dragon Fruit palette from Cleona and Emily Violet Marie. If I recall correctly, this is the first collab palette they've ever done. They've done some palettes in the past. They had Archeo and Paleo, but those I don't believe were collabs. So, collab palette right here. This is stunning. They have so many different finishes. If you order this palette, they do include a card that explains the different finishes to you, but they have so many different beautiful finishes. This one is multi-chrome, that one is multi-chrome. These like satiny shades are so beautiful, even blended out into the crease. They're really pretty. These have such nice like bright impact when you put them on the lid. I've used them as like inner corner as well. Fruit Fizz kind of has this interesting like green, let me see if I can get it, there we go, has kind of this like green shift to it, which I think is really cool. And then you have this like, it's a gold, but it definitely has some like orange and green kind of like sparkles running through it. All in all, I think this is a great palette. Again, I don't necessarily always use it by itself, but I really appreciate with a brand like Cleona that we got a whole bunch of special shades here, because I have regular shades like all over back here. So I don't need Cleona to give me regular like mattes. I want Cleona to give me all these special ones, and I'll go get my own mattes. So I really liked playing with that this month. This one is coming in at number 3. This is sort of my honorable mention, and it is a custom made palette that I made for the month. Definitely, you know, Butte Bean is very inspiring in terms of the custom palettes that she's made, so I decided to make like a dark garden kind of theme here, and I pulled in, there is so many different brands in here. I want to say there's some Cleona, there's some Copacetic, Terra Moons. This one is Glamlight, from I depotted from that little mini taco palette, but I pulled in and Shine by SD. There's a bunch of different brands in here, and I put this together and I had so much fun playing with it. Like, I reached for this probably a third of the month. I mean, it was just like absurd. Maybe not a third of the month, but I reached for it a good amount and I really liked making looks with that. Number 2 and number 1 I really enjoyed using together. I thought they made a really nice pairing, and for part of the month I didn't have access to my whole makeup collection, so for me having these two together, working together, really made a big impact. And so the first one here is the Clarity Cosmetics Evil Mermaid palette. I ordered it the minute they allowed us to, and it looks like this. This shade is so pretty. It looks like this very generic kind of like silvery shade, but it actually has this like green and purple and blue sparkle through it, and it kind of pulls this like lima bean minty green. It's very, very pretty. This shade does not blend over that lids very well. You definitely need to use a glitter glue. It stains a lot, just FYI. Most of these stain a good amount. The mattes blended out really pretty, and I really like this purple because it has almost like a silvery cast to it in direct light, and then as you know, rotate away, it just looks darker. So I love almost the duochrome quality to it. I don't think it's truly a duochrome, but I think the way that it comes across, it almost looks like that. So very, very pretty. And then the last one, the number one palette for the month of May, was the Milf palette from Sugar Drizzle Cosmetics. And this is the Man I Love Frogs palette. It looks like this, and it's a palette full of duochromes, multichromes, and toppers. I loved this palette so much. This camouflage shade makes a great inner corner. It like makes your inner corner glow. I love that so much. I love how you have like different, like, you know, kind of warmer options, some cooler options. You've got at least, I think at least 1, 2, 3 multi-chromes in here, and the rest are duochromes. Very, very pretty though. I used this palette a ton throughout the last month, so it had to make it to number one because it's so special, such good quality, and I was using it so much. Alright, and with that said, that is everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'm going to catch you in my next video. Bye!